went through her phone when she fell asleep. There were pictures and texts with him all the way back to when we first started dating. They would hook up every time I went on work trips, and I sent proof to my phone. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, I Gave My Ex-Fiancee's Dream Vacation to Her Sister. And a big shout out to Nasad for sending me this story. And guys, this is all about a guy who this is a semi-revenge story. Not revenge with a huge R, but definitely a revenge with a little R. About a guy who's all set to be married and finds out at the last minute, thank the Lord, that his fiancée was cheating. And he finds out from the most unlikely place. And thanks to that, he's able to kick her to the curb. And let me tell you, he certainly does. He handles it like a boss. And she has a complete meltdown over this whole thing, particularly because he gives away the honeymoon. He gives the honeymoon away to her younger sister. Why he get to the younger sister? Well, you guys will see as I go through the story. This was a very good one here, aside from the entertainment of a revenge story. But also, guys, how just it's so unfortunate how these types of things happen. You got to watch out for the red flags, etc., etc. with your gal. Spend years with her, find out what she's like, and how, like I say all the time, a lot of gals will get married purely because they're getting older, want a ring on their finger, and they'll just settle with some guy that they can use for resources, and this is exactly what goes on here. So you have to spend years with her, doing a lot of screening and all that. So it starts off, says here, I met my ex's sister in high school when she started dating my best friend. During our senior year, she got pregnant and they married soon after. Okay. He knew the younger sister first. After high school, I joined the military. I served for 6 years before getting medically discharged. My ex and I started dating. I got a good job that would give me leave a couple times a month, up to 10 days at a time. A week ago, this happened. We were supposed to get married on the 12th. While doing some last-minute wedding planning, a text from her sister popped up asking, says here in quotes, have you told this guy about what you did with your ex-boyfriend? If you don't do it tonight, I will tomorrow. I asked her what was that, and she tried to play it off. So he saw this text, and the younger sister was telling the older sister, this guy's fiancé at the time, have you told him? Because if you don't, I will. She's choosing him over her own sister, which means her sister's trash. I kept pressing her and said that during the bachelorette party she ran into him, but nothing happened. It was an obvious lie. How does one run into their ex coincidentally at a bachelorette party? Really? They obviously were planning something. I went through her phone when she fell asleep. There were texts and pictures with him all the way back when we started dating. She would hook up every time I went on a work trip, sent proof to my phone. So she's been cheating on him all along. That is terrible. Thank God, the last minute, this guy found out. I woke her up and kicked her out and ended the relationship. Good job, brother. She did the cheater's script. I told her Stephanie looked a lot like her ex-boyfriend and showed her one of the screenshots of them together in my bed. She started to cry, and I gently got her out the door. Of course she started to cry. What else is there? That's the last resort. And by the way, not only were they hooking up the entire time, but they were hooking up in his own bed. He could have married her. Good Lord. I canceled all wedding plans and need some help calling the guests to inform them the wedding was off. My friend's wife said that during the bachelorette party, she caught them sneaking away and having intimate time. When she confronted them, she gave my ex the option of coming clean to me herself or she would do it. She did not know it was an ongoing thing. Now on to the honeymoon vacation. I planned it so that it would be perfect for my ex. It was a 10-day trip to another country that she'd always said was a once-in-a-lifetime bucket list place. There were nice hotels, amazing experiences, and all over a dream vacation. I was already out $10,000 for the wedding and more if I canceled the honeymoon trip. Well, that's terrible that he loses any money on this, but $10,000 for the wedding and trip in the grand scheme of things is pretty small. But here's a question. Isn't it tradition that the bride's family pays for the wedding? Why is he paying for it? And usually the groom's family pays for the reception. I mean, the thing that happens the day before. I forget what the fuck it is. It's called, but you know what I'm talking about here. And of course, oftentimes the honeymoon. So why is he paying for everything? Now, I'm all for a man taking care of things, but clearly this guy's got some resources that she's exploiting. I made the decision to offer it up to them. Since I knew that they never got to have a honeymoon or any real vacation since they got married young and had kids. Also, they just saved me money and time. They accepted. They were able to get the time off work and made arrangements for the kids for the trip. So I love that he gives the honeymoon to the younger sister. I guess that he couldn't get his money back because it was a non-refundable. And I guess he didn't want to go on it because he wasn't feeling up to that whole thing. But probably just wanted to stick it to her. Here, I'll give your sister the dream vacation here. Now watch how this plays out. Remember, she's the one that screwed this whole thing up and been cheating on him the whole time. My ex found out about this and she flipped out and was calling me and texting me how much of an a-hole I am for doing that to her. Hold on here. She's been cheating the entire time of the relationship with her ex. And he's the bad guy for canceling the wedding and giving the honeymoon to her younger sister. He's the a-hole here. You want to talk about... I mean, it's just amazing to me the amount of gaslighting and lack of accountability that goes on so often. How I knew it was her dream vacation. How I ruined her life. I got messages from her friends and some of her family that she lied to and blamed me for the breakup. Of course, she lies to her friends and family, telling me it's his fault that they broke up. Her ex even texted me saying that I'm not a real man, and then threatened me. He texted where there's proof of him threatening you, a military man. First threatening a military man, a man who was trained to use deadly force, and now he's texting with evidence for the police to see. Smart. She must have went there last night as he shouldn't have my phone number. I've not responded to them at all. Good, don't give him any ammo. Restraining order, go to the police. Now with an update, it says here, funny thing about me is that I can be in a war zone and can be calm as I can be, have a calm head. But in this situation of that night, I was a mess. I was not thinking. When you get a bunch of messages telling me off from people that I thought cared about me, it threw me off. On the bright side, I get regular checkups because of my job, blood work included. But I went and got checked specifically for any S-word issues, and it was all negative. In other words, do I have an STD for my freaking ex-fiancé? I followed some of the requests and got a restraining order on the affair partner for the threat. It pays to have good connections with the local law enforcement. Good. He just gave you the proof all you needed with that text. He says, y'all were right. I didn't really have to do anything for the truth to come out. She ended up going to her sister's place that night after she found out about the honeymoon, banging on the door, demanding all the trip information. When she got denied, she went crazy, screaming and yelling, and eventually detained when the neighbors called the cops. I found out that during her fit, she confessed that she was just using me and never loved me, and she admitted sleeping around behind my back. While that's terrible, and I feel bad for this guy, she got caught. This woman's psycho, as well as her ex. Believe me, he dodged a big one here. He says, did I mention that it was on camera, the doorbell cam? They posted it. I ended up getting messages from the family apologizing, but none from her friends, so I sent the screenshots of the message and a PG-safe photo. Messages also include her talking crap about most of them. Wow, this is some Jerry Springer, Maury Povich shit. I would tell the family pretty much don't ever talk to me again since you actually believed her BS that she was saying. After that, the affair partner showed up to my house trying to break in and talk to me. He showed up again to an ex-military guy who's trained to use deadly forces to break into the house, who already has a restraining order against. He showed up. So it's like, thank you, Lord. I hope that he was living in a state where, let's just say, taking care of yourself and your own property is not a crime. Wink, wink, nod, nod. He was drunk. I lightly self-defensed him and carefully detained him. The police came and he was arrested. I also have cameras with audio. Assault, attempted breaking and entering, and defying a restraining order. These two are perfect for each other. So she lost most of her family, friends, spent the night in jail, and her affair partner is going to jail. well, prison. I was able to be set up on a contract for a month, which comes with bonuses and getting out of the country. Hopefully my mind will be right when I get back. Also, my friend and his wife will be leaving today, Monday, for the trip. I was able to get some of the more personal details of the trip changed to their name. I also paid for the hotel to put a cheap camera on and a note saying, remember to making lasting memories and documenting the journey. So there you go, guys. It's a quick one, but nice revenge story. Again, he could have gone on that trip, but you know what? He knew it pissed the ex off more, and to him, it was worth the money. But what an example of how you need to spend years with someone to really get to know them before you get married. And even then, they can hide things, but it sounds to me, what I'm putting together is that they weren't engaged that long, and the whole time she was sleeping with the ex, and she admitted on camera she was using him for money. I mean, that is so terrible, but it happens. So, gentlemen, be careful. Your relationship, guys. And I know there are plenty that watch me, whether you want to admit it or not. You know who you're talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Take your time. They will use you. If you're a guy that when you were in high school and college, your teens and 20s, and the girls really didn't pay a lot of attention to you, you know, on occasion you got a girl and girlfriend, and all of a sudden you start getting a job, got some resources, and these girls that are in their mid-20s, getting close to 30, all of a sudden are hitting you up and giving you a lot of attention. Understand, there can be ulterior motives involved to race to the altar because they know clock's ticking, 30's coming, all my girlfriends are getting married. Don't think that the movies are right and you're getting that girl finally. They're no doubt using you. Now, however, if you were, say, an ugly duckling when you're in high school and college age and you maybe lost a bunch of weight or got yourself in great shape hitting the gym and you're developing your social skills, and now people really like your personality, and you have other things going on, then maybe you're being noticed more because of other things. But if nothing's changed about you at all, except for the fact that you got a job, above average paying job and resources and all that, they're coming after you. They're looking to settle. And the guys they settle with, they get the bare minimum on minimum for many fronts. Just be aware of that. Just going to need to squeeze that in there, the important lesson in this story. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And also, guys, you come across a good story like this, share by all means. Email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I definitely will when I get the chance. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.